Hi, boys and girls. It's Friday. Hope you're having a great day and that you have a nice long weekend. Remember, we do not have online school on Monday because it is Memorial Day. So I hope you have a good long weekend with your family. Let's talk about what we're going to do today. We are going to be reading a story. It is a short story. And then when we're done, we're going to try to fill out a story map. So we'll be identifying or finding the characters, the setting, and the events in the story. The only work that you need to do at home for this assignment is to practice reading. So you don't have to write anything down. If you don't want to, that's okay. I just want you to practice reading the story fluently by yourself. Okay? So the title of the story is right here. It's called Fred the Frog. Fred the Frog. Okay, Fred is his name. And our objective today on May 22nd, 2020 is we will read the story Fred the Frog independently and complete a story map using details from the text. Okay, so let's get started. First, I'm going to show you 2 or 3 sentences of the story at a time, and we're going to look for any sight words or trick words that we know. We will sound out some of the words, and we'll just pay attention if there's any tricky words in the sentences. Then we'll go back and we will read the whole story from start to finish. Okay? So I noticed right away the first sentence starts with the title, Fred the Frog. So we might see that phrase a few times in the story. Fred the Frog. You practice saying it at home. Good. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through and I'm going to look for any sight words, and I'm just going to highlight them with this tool so you guys can help me. I noticed this word. I bet you can read it at home. It says to. What does it say? Awesome. How about this word? I bet you know this one. That's right, it's and. Here's another trick word. He. Ooh, and this is a new one that we practiced last week, I believe. Over. You say it. Over. Here's the again. Here's and again. Woo. Here's the again. We see the and a lot. Okay, and then there's a few words that I just want to take a look at. We might notice that some words in this story have a suffix. So remember, our strategy for reading words with a suffix is we read the base word first, and I know this says like, so then I later add the suffix. Like becomes likes. You say it at home. Likes. Good. There's a word that I'm not sure of, like maybe I don't know what this word says, I can tap it out. Jump. Good. And now if I go down here, I see the base word jump, but it has a suffix s. So I can say jump. Jumps is the word. Good. If I don't know this word, I can practice reading it by tapping it out. Grass. You try it at home. Grass. I noticed that there was a blend at the beginning. Okay? Now I want you to take just a moment to try to read the sentences. Fred the Frog. He over. If you don't know this word, tap it out. Twig. Okay, I think I've got a good idea. We're going to go down and look at the next sentences. Remember, we're going to go back and read the whole story together. Right now, our eyes are just trying to pick out any trick words that we know to make our reading easier, to practice reading the sentences by yourself, and to tap out any tricky words. I see more sight words. This one we didn't see on the last page. Do you know what it is? It says is. Here's over again. Practice it. Over. Ooh, this trick word says two, like the number 2. Okay. Do you see another word? We practiced this one on the first page. Jump becomes jumps. I see it again down here. Jump becomes jumps. Good. Okay, now let's take a look. I saw some words that were tricky to me, so I think we should go over them. How about this word? Q and its buddy letter, U, go together when we tap it out. They say qua, I, k, quick. Quick means fast. Good. He is quick. He jumps over the mud. And this word is tricky, so let's go over it. Between. Can you say between? Good. Between means in the middle of something. He jumps on the... Okay. Let's look at the next page. Then, here's a question word that's a trick word. Where? Like donde? Here's our character's name, Fred. Fred. That. We can tap this one out. Bench. Bench. Very good. Take a second to look through these sentences. Here's a trick word that we have practiced. Into. Here's another one. My. We can tap this out. Hut. Fred. That's his name. There's my again. You can tap this one out. Bed. Yes. I don't know this word, so I'm going to tap it out. Yuck. Yuck. Like yuck. Okay, I think I went through, and there weren't too many words that were tricky to sound out, so I think I'm going to go back, and I think we're ready to practice reading it together. Let's start at the beginning. I'm just going to try to move this picture up so we can see all of the words. Let's read the title together. So we're reading it, I'm reading it, you're reading it with me. Fred the Frog. Ooh. Okay, let's go through. Not sure the best place for this picture. Let's try it down here. Okay. You're going to notice the words that we're reading are highlighted. We're going to go through a little bit quickly because I want us to practice reading fluently, okay? We want to read like we talk to our friends, not like a robot, okay? So we want to stop if we need to tap out words that we don't know, but we want to practice reading fluently. So I want you to take a look at these sentences, go through them quietly in your brain, and then we're going to read them together. Good. I want to try now together. So try to read with Miss Makadia. Okay? Fred. Ooh, 1 second. Let's see if we can get this slideshow to work. Fred the frog likes to hop and jump. He hops over the twig and jumps on the grass. Good. Let's keep going. Take a look at these sentences. See if you need to remember any of the word. Remember, we read the base word first and then we add the suffix if we're sounding it out. Look at this last word. Do you know what it says? If not, practice. Read the base word first. Step. Step. Now change it and put the suffix on the end. Step. Steps. Good job. Let's read it together. He is quick. He jumps over the mud and between the two dogs. So picture that in your brain. Fred the frog is hopping away. He's going fast. He jumps on the steps. Okay, so right now he's outside. I'm picturing this in my brain. A little frog, Fred, hopping between two dogs, going over the mud, okay, and then jumping on some steps. Wonder where he's going. Look at these words. Read it quietly to yourself. Okay, you can see that if I'm reading quietly to myself now, I'm tapping out words that I don't know, so I'm ready to read. Okay, starts with then. Say it with me. Then I did not see him. Where did Fred go? Did Fred hop up on that bench? Okay, so picture that in your mind. The person is looking for Fred, the little frog. He doesn't see him, but then he hops up onto a bench. Look at these words. Practice the sentences silently in your brain. Okay, ready, readers? Let's start with the word yes together. Yes, he did. Then he went into my hut. Did Fred hop up on my bed? Okay, a hut is a little house. Okay. All right, readers, let's start again with yes. Yes, he did. Yuck. Get off, Fred. Can you picture that in your brain? Can you imagine someone is looking for this little frog? He's hopping around. He goes into the house and hops up onto his bed. Would you like a frog on your bed? I don't think I would, because I wouldn't want to catch him. I don't like to touch slimy animals. What about you? All right, so let's talk about filling out our story map. First, let's make sure we remember the characters in the story. Who was the main character? Was it a person? Was it an animal? Who was it? That's right. It was Fred the frog. It was an animal. And it seems like we're not too sure there weren't any other characters that we learned their names, but it seems like there might have been a person that was watching Fred in the story, because he was saying, "Did Fred jump on my bed?" Okay, so I'm just going to put person as another character. Can you think of any settings in the story? Can you think of any settings? When I think of the setting, I think of where or when the story takes place. So, ¿dónde está Fred en la historia? Where is Fred? Well, let me go back and think. Okay, I remember in the first page, he was here. Let me see if you can remember that word. Grass. Grass. That's right, he was in the grass. Then he was on some steps. Then he went into the hut. Okay, there are a few different settings. Let's write them. Let's write grass, grass, steps. So first I'm going to write step. Now I'm going to add my suffix s because I know there are more than one step. Steps. And then hut. Remember, a hut is a little house. Okay. And then let's think about what were some of the main events in this story. ¿Qué pasó en la historia? What was happening? What happened first? I think first Fred jumps on the grass. Where did he go next? Let me go back to the story so I can prove my answer. Okay, so here he was on the grass, and then he jumps over the mud between two dogs. He jumps on the, that's right, on the steps. Let me go back. Fred jumps on the steps. Do you remember where he went next? The person in the story was looking for him. I'm going to start my sentence the same way Fred jumps. Go back. Fred jumps on the bench. Yes, he did. Okay. So I'm going to write Fred jumps on the bench. And then where did he go? Then he went into my hut and on my bed. Let's write one last sentence. Last, Fred jumps into the hut and on the bed. We learned that the person is not happy about that because the person says, yuck, Fred. Okay, so we really quickly, that was a little short story, and we were able to think about the characters, the setting, and the events, what happened in the story. So it's important, even with little short stories that you're practicing, to think about these questions because they will help you better understand what you're reading. And our goal is to always be learning something from what we're reading. All right, so what I would recommend is you go back and practice reading this story again. See if you can go back to the slides and read one more time all by yourself. Okay? Thank you, friends. I will see you again on Tuesday because we do not have school on Monday. Keep practicing your reading at home, and I hope you have a great one. Bye.